Johnny Wharf, along with Marietta High School Superintendent Will Hampton, and well, here we go into graduation day. This is the actual day. Will, talk a little bit about, we'll start with the last 8 weeks because I know it's been crazy, and then we'll move back to the simpler times, if you will, and if they were for you, but just give us a little kind of in and out of what you've been through.
Oh my goodness, who could have ever imagined this could happen? To flip a switch and to end up going remote,
right,
with almost no notice. It's been a lot of work, but I'm really proud of everyone, kids and staff alike. We pulled it off.
I think about just some conversations that I've had, Caitlin and Jessica Klein and Seneca Craven, and just the vibe, the positivity coming from some of these students. I think the Nakatawa boy, and just to realize that they're in a situation that none of us has ever been in, and that quite frankly they'll have some stories to tell that nobody will ever have to tell.
Oh my goodness, they are going to have stories to tell. And, that speaks well of the class. The class is really a positive group of kids. They're an exciting group of kids. And they understand that a lot of this is really beyond their control, and they're going to have to make the best of it. And I think they have. They've done a great job with that. Superintendent
of schools, this is not something that has ever been in the textbook. And so talk a little bit about going forward, and I'm not asking you to guess or do any prognostications or anything like that, but as you see it, here in late May 2020, where are we going forward?
Well, right, we don't have any guidelines right now, and we're looking ahead, trying to plan for the unknown, but the one thing I think is going to be consistent is that we may, as a classroom teacher, I may never have my whole class in front of me. I may have a portion of my class. I may have just a fraction of my class, or it may be entirely remote. But you can't plan for a traditional opening of school right now, at least based on what we know.
And then Will Hampton is our guest, Superintendent of Schools in Marietta City Schools, and I've heard from a couple of students, and sometimes they, point out what teacher, and sometimes they don't, but they talk about how energizing. I mean, there have been maybe specific, or if not all, the teachers that have kind of embraced being able to communicate virtually with their students, to make them laugh or to do something that engages them, maybe even differently or better than they would have in person.
We have worked really hard to maintain that contact. School is such a social event. You take the learning for granted, but the social aspect of it is so critically important that we also have to have those social moments even if we have them virtually. You have to be able to laugh. You have to do something silly. You have to remain and keep that connection. And that's really important if you're going to move learning forward.
How about at the home place for you, just on a personal level, Mary Lee, and just the family? Talk a little bit about how much you've had to, and again, you're at the school, but how much you've had to change things back at the homestead.
Oh my goodness, it's been an adjustment. I tell you, the first few weeks, I was not very good at it. I didn't handle this very well at all because I didn't have the normal structures that I have in my day.
Right.
I didn't have a schedule. I didn't have hours and all of that. The day was just loose and free, and you could kind of you wander through it. But once I put some real structure into my days, it really helped me adapt. But we're trying to adapt to not going out and not going out to eat and doing those kinds of things. And my goodness, I cook like every night. Now, I love cooking, but okay, I need a break once in a while.
Yeah. And you like traveling. I know you're well-traveled, and a lot of times you're engaged with a student population on a trip overseas or something like that, and obviously that's going to change going forward as well. But did you have anything in the hopper that you had to step over?
The traveling part, well, for the kids, our D.C. trip this spring was canceled. For the 8th grade. That's disappointing, but we're going to push that back and hopefully redo that another time. we've got the Spain trip that obviously was put off as well. So we'll keep those trips in the queue and hopefully be able to do those later. But on a personal note, yesterday I found out my wife and I's vacation's been canceled. So, all right, so we're just going to be staying around for a while.
All the balls continue to fall, but we'll pick them up as we go forward. Lastly, Will Hampton is our guest, and he's the superintendent of schools, and we appreciate your time with us, not only for this interview, but always you have an open ear for us and a cell phone when we have a question of any sort, so we appreciate that from the radio standpoint and my own personal standpoint. But a message to your seniors who are tuned in, and then we'll be going at 3 o'clock into that virtual graduation that you guys filmed, and so that'll be interesting to see as well, that folks can tune in online for that. But just a message to your seniors and the folks out there listening.
Just take life, go after it. Go after it, and understand that you're gonna stumble, you're gonna fall, you're gonna make mistakes along the way. But those are all learning experiences. You're going to learn from those more than you learn from your successes. So take off, try things, explore, and trust your instincts as you do, because you've all got tremendous potential. And I'm really proud to have been a part of your educational experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing the great things that you do.
Will Hampton, well said, and we thank you for your time. I wish you the best of luck going forward. If you need anything from us, you know where to get us.
Thank you, Johnny. You're awesome.